Hi, welcome to I'm live. Welcome to Make with Me. So on Friday night when I was doing my Thursday night or Friday night, I can't remember. Thursday night, I think, when I did a live stream, I was talking about my big stack of quilts that are in progress. You can see some of them still stacked up over here behind me. And don't you love the magic of camera where I can point? And I very foolishly said I'm going to make every day live on camera. I do that every day anyway, but I'm going to invite you to join me for my real live sewing. Not I said I would be in my pajamas. Today I'm not in my pajamas because I did have to give a friend to lift to work really early this morning, so I am actually in clothes. But I did show up in my, sort of indoor wear on Friday morning. And so early in the morning, we're going to spend 20 minutes just working on one whip, one work in progress. This is my chosen work in progress for now. The point of this exercise is twofold. So to finish off the whips, these works in progress that have been sitting around my sewing room for ages. They've moved with me from my old sewing room to my new sewing room. And sort of make a change, because as I explained in my other video, and I talk about it more at length, you can go and watch it, but basically to make a change, to stop being a quilt starter and become a quilt finisher, right? A quilt maker. That's what I want to do. So, and a lot of these quilts, they don't need that much. There's only a little bit left to do. So I think these small amounts of time are going to add up to something big, right? They're going to add up to a whole new quilt in just a short period of time. Okay, it won't take me very many days. So to help with this process, one of the things I did, I spent a lot of time yesterday fiddling around in Canva to try to make a really beautiful calendar so I could mark it down, because I thought, you know what, it'd be really good to mark my progress as well. And I think when you're making a change, that's always a good idea. That works for me. When you're trying to change a habit, because this is making a new habit. Because I sew every day. I have that habit now. But I normally get really excited about the new stuff, like that nice improv that's on my design wall at the moment, or the Gypsy Wife, which is on my impromptu design wall, which I did a video about the other day. So if you're, this is making a new habit. This is making a habit of starting out my sewing with 20 minutes working, focused work on one particular project. And I started this to get you to sew with me, right? So I'm only going to talk very briefly, and then it's going to be 20 minutes of, you're going to be listening to nothing. You need to have your sewing or knitting or whatever your project is, whatever your work in progress is. Maybe your work in progress is planning, developing a habit of planning the meals for the week in your family, or I don't know, whatever your work in progress is, whatever there's a thing that niggles at you that you need to do and you've been wanting to do, now's the time to do it with me, okay? Because I always feel like we can do this together. And YouTube's not ideal, right? Because I can't really hear you and you can't really hear me and we can't talk. But this is kind of meditative time for me anyway, because I'm going to drop into creative flow and I'm going to do the little exercise that I do for that, and I will talk you through it. So to make this change and to make this habit stick, I decided to mark it so I can see my progress. And one of the first things I did, and you can't read this because it's backwards, but basically the name of this quilt is Bodacious, and I'll explain that later. But I wrote down the name of the quilt and all the steps that need to be done, right, to finish it. Now, there's not a lot of steps. This is a quilt in the center. I'm not going to stand up and show you because it's really awkward, but I'm going to try to do it here. In the center of the quilt, there are all these curvy lines, right? So when I initially started doing the quilting, because there's quite a lot of negative space in this quilt up here, I covered all of this space with curvy lines because I thought it would reflect the curvy lines and it would be really cool. And there's still some of them left down at the bottom, the very bottom over here. You can see those curvy lines. Now, I have to tell you, can you see the curvy lines? It's in blue, so it's kind of standing out, this one. Okay, people. Right, there you go. You see the curvy line quilts? They were beautiful. The curvy line quilting was beautiful. However, it completely didn't achieve what I had wanted it to achieve. It didn't set off the curvy lines in the center, it just took over the quilt, right? You weren't interested in the center anymore. So with great sadness, I ripped out. And I'm here to tell you, I did a lot of ripping out already. I ripped out all of this whole section here that's now quilted with straight lines. You can see it. I ripped it all out and I quilted it with straight lines. And it didn't take that long. But I moved house and I got busy and it all fell by the wayside and I stopped focusing on this quilt. So what's left to be done is I need to rip these. I wrote my list. I need to rip out the old quilting. Now I ripped out most of the old quilting yesterday, but I did leave some of it in because my basting had already been removed. I used hand stitch basting and my basting had already been removed. And so I wanted to keep this wavy line that's left kind of as basting. And I started, you can see, I did 2 lines here, 2 straight lines. Actually, maybe you can't see, but oh, that sucks. It's really hard to see because it's orange and this fabric has orange in the weft. So anyway, I started doing 2 long lines of quilting. So what I have left to do is I will have to finish ripping out all of that old quilting. So that's one thing. I worked on it, part of that yesterday. I have to quilt both this side, so this section, which goes all the way down. So it's about that wide, so it shouldn't take too long. But I do different colors, so that adds to the dip. And then I have a section on this side. Oh, actually, I didn't realize I had so much wavy quilting over here. So I'm going to have to rip out the wavy quilting over here on this side, which is a bit wider than that other side. You can see it's about double the width of the other side. And I'm going to have to do up and down quilting on that side. And then I have to bind it, and then I'll have to hand quilt the center. I bind it first before the hand quilting because it's only the center bit, and the hand quilting doesn't really pull or shrink the quilt as much. So anyway, the point of doing this is to write down all the tasks that are left. And then each day as I do it, I'm going to write down how much time I spent. Yesterday I did an extra 20 minutes after we were off camera. So I wrote 20 minutes times 2, and I wrote what I worked on. I couldn't cross out ripping out all the quilting. Maybe I should make a better list next time and say, rip out the right side and then rip out the left side, and then I can cross it out, but I can't cross it out because it's not completely finished. So, I'm going to stick this up in my sewing room on the wall over here, and that's going to keep me going. So in terms of talking to you, I said I would talk to you for 5 minutes each day about something that's on my mind. And I didn't show up yesterday actually because I wasn't well and I had to go to the doctor. And that was 9 o'clock was the only time they could see me, of course. But I was grateful because it was a Saturday that I was able to get in. So, yeah, I think it's a really, there's a lot going on in the world and in my life. And what I want to say to you today is just don't waste those precious moments. And look, I'm fine. I'm getting emotional. So it sounds like, oh my God, she went to the doctor because she has like some terrible disease. I don't. But I am feeling my age and sadness at the world and everything that's happening. So and the stuff that happened in New Zealand, really terrible and really tragic stuff that happened. So what I would say is we never know. We just never know what's going to happen in life. 20 minutes just seems like a really short period of time, but every minute is precious in your life. You know, I think about, don't get me wrong, I waste so much time, right? Yesterday, while watching the rugby, which was also very sad for England, although not for England ladies team, which won the Grand Slam in the Six Nations. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, sorry, Americans, it's not your thing. But yesterday, while I was watching TV, I was watching the rugby and watch England not win the game. I was wasting time. I wasted hours playing Candy Crush, which I had deleted from my iPad last year because I was wasting too much time on it. And I hadn't deleted it from my phone. So guess what? It's going off my phone today. But yeah, I waste a lot of time. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you just need to chill out and not do anything. But But every time I do it now, when I do it with Candy Crush, I think that's sewing time. The thing about there's a difference between those two things, right? Candy Crush, I turn off, right? And I don't want to turn off for long periods of time. And it's not a time that really gives me energy. It just dulls, like me feeling tired and feeling sick and not feeling great and feeling like I'm not accomplishing all the stuff I need to accomplish. But it doesn't give me more energy and it doesn't make me feel better. Um, just like when I go on vacation, laying by the pool doesn't give me energy and doesn't make me feel better. Scuba diving, wow, that lights up my world, man. It's tough. You have to schlep your gear and you have to get up early and then you're exhausted at the end of it, right? Because of everything. But it still lights up my world. It is so energizing and so amazing to be floating there in with no sound, very little sound with and to see all the fishes. I love being in nature. I could wax poetical about scuba diving all day long. Anyway, Candy Crush is the same way. It just it helps me turn off my mind, but it doesn't give me energy. Sewing helps me turn off my mind, or making or baking helps me turn off my mind, but it refreshes me. It gives me energy. I feel like I feel better. And I think that's because I go into creative flow when I'm doing those things. And when I'm doing Candy Crush, I'm just like, no, it's just like drinking, right? Or taking drugs or something. You're just numbing the pain. Anyway, I promised I wouldn't talk long, and it's already 12 minutes in. So we need to get to sewing or making, whatever you're doing, because that's the purpose of this, to have a community, to sew together, to make together. So that's the whole idea. So what I want to do is let's drop into creative flow. Unfortunately, I was trying to prepare and I realized I'm running out of thread, so I'm going to have to change my thread. So it's not none of this is exciting. It's not about you sitting here watching me. It's about me creating a space, us creating a space to work together. And I really hope, even if you're watching this on replay, it's a space for you where you can say, you know what? I'm going to go watch with Donna because I don't want to do it by myself. That's cool. Okay? So I'm going to talk you through the exercise. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to do it myself a little bit. So sit comfortably or stand comfortably, feet firmly on the ground. Close your eyes. I'm going to take a few deep breaths and settle into wherever you are. Remember to breathe in through your nose, and I can't do it because I'm talking, but out through your nose as well. Yeah, in through your nose, all the way down. Let your stomach push out. We don't normally breathe that deeply because we kind of hold our stomach in, let it go. But no one here to see you. There's no judgment here if we did, but breathe. Just a few deep breaths to relax. Check in with your body. So we're going to start at the top of your head. And just notice the top of your head. Yeah, notice the back of your head. And start to notice your body, how it feels. Notice the top of your ears. How do your ears feel? And your neck. If you feel any tension when you get to any part of your body, jiggle it around a little bit and relax it. Same with your shoulders. I keep a lot of tension in my jaws and in my neck and my shoulders. Just let them go. Keep working your way down your body. Relax your arms and your hands. Take your attention to your thighs and relax your thighs. Sorry, I'm a little bit stopped up in my nose, so I can't really do the breathing properly, but breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Now go down to your legs. Notice your legs, your knees, and your shins and your calves, and all the way down to your feet. Just wiggle your toes. Let go of everything that doesn't concern you right now. Focus on the space between your eyes, just behind your nose. A few more breaths. Timer's going on. I'm not going to talk, and you can hear the birds outside. Okay, that's your 20 minutes. I hope you felt sort of moved by this to feel like you're really into it. I kind of feel like I'm really into it as well. When I sat down today, I thought I'm only going to do 20 minutes of this because I got to go do something else. But actually, I think I might do another 20 today just because once I get in the flow, I just don't like to leave. So I hope this is helpful for you. If it is, just leave me a comment and let me know if you want to see more of something or if you have questions about getting into creative flow. Let me know. I did say by the end of Friday I would have my creative flow exercise, my creative flow accelerator um, up for you so that you could download it and listen to it anytime you want. Unfortunately, I didn't succeed with that. I stayed up late Friday night working on it, didn't get it done, and I think that's part of why I started to feel this not well, this thing that this chest infection that I just can't get rid of. So I will finish working on that today. Oh, hey, Uwe. Good morning. How are you? So I was just finishing up with my sewing. So it's good to see you, Uwe. um, and anyway, I will work on my creative flow accelerator exercise later today, and hopefully be up on the website for you. So take care, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for sewing with me.